Have you ever seen a car on the road and thought, that thing must have cost a fortune? Well, here's a twist most people don't see coming. Some of the best-looking luxury-style cars on the market are actually cheaper to buy and maintain than your average SUV. In this video, we're counting down 15 cars that look expensive but are shockingly cheap to buy and maintain. And I'm not talking about stripped-down base models or bare-bones econo boxes. These are real head-turners. Let's get started. Number 15. Toyota Yaris. Now, the Toyota Yaris might not seem like a fancy option at first glance, until you see it dressed up in those last few model years before it was discontinued in the US. The final versions, especially with the sport packages and upgraded wheels, looked surprisingly sharp for such a small car. I'm talking European hatchback flair in a subcompact body. And the best part? You could pick one up used or lightly driven for 18 to 20 grand. The Yaris gives off that smart city dweller energy with its clean lines, well-finished interior, and enough tech to feel current without getting complicated. And when it comes to maintenance, it's almost laughable how cheap it is to run. Over 10 years, you're looking at around 4 grand total, which is lower than some luxury car single repairs. Number 14. Toyota Corolla. The Toyota Corolla has always been the practical choice, but lately it's grown up. Take a look at the XSE or Nightshade Edition trims and tell me that doesn't look like something far more expensive. You've got sleek LED headlights, sharp body lines, blacked out accents, and even a leather-trimmed interior in the higher trims. All of that for around $23,000. But what really sets the Corolla apart is that even with all these upscale upgrades, it still holds on to its core value: rock-solid reliability. Over a 10-year span, you're looking at just $4,100 in maintenance. And that's with regular oil changes, tires, brakes, the basics. No surprise breakdowns, no mysterious dashboard warnings. Compared to an Audi A3, which starts well above this price and could run you double in long-term costs, the Corolla pulls off the rare trick of looking like a junior executive's ride while charging you economy car prices to keep it on the road. Number 13. Honda Civic. There's no question about it. The modern Civic is a looker, especially in its sport or touring trims. The Civic feels like it's trying to sneak into the luxury club, and honestly, it might already be there. With a price tag of around $26,000, it lands solidly in the upper end of the compact segment. But with its sharp body design, premium lighting, and that gorgeous full-width taillight, it looks more like a downsized Acura than a Honda. Inside, it's just as impressive. Soft touch materials, a clean minimalist dash, digital gauges. It's grown up in every way. And it still clings to Honda's core strength: reliability. Over a decade, maintenance sits at around $5,200, which is nothing compared to the costs of maintaining a Volkswagen Arteon or even a base Audi sedan. So if you want a car that feels refined, turns heads, and doesn't leave you scared of every service light, the Civic is one of the most balanced picks out there. Number 12. Acura ILX. You ever see a car and go, wait, is that a baby Audi? That's the Acura ILX in a nutshell. Clean, minimalist lines, LED lighting, and a polished interior. It looks like it belongs in the luxury crowd, but it quietly undercuts the rest of the class, coming in at around 27 grand brand new. And while it might not shout performance, it absolutely whispers value. 10 years of maintenance, around $4,300 total. That's less than some people spend on tires and oil changes alone for a BMW 3 Series. The ILX blends Honda's reliability with just enough Acura refinement to trick people into thinking you spent way more than you did. It's understated, it's sleek, and it's built to go the distance without draining your wallet. Number 11. Toyota Camry XSE. You're probably thinking, the Camry? Really? But hear me out, especially when we're talking about the XSE or XLE V6 trims. These versions of the Camry take everything you know about this dependable sedan and give it a full makeover. Glossy black wheels, a sculpted front end, dual exhaust, and a surprisingly upscale interior, all for around 30 grand. It gives off that near luxury vibe without ever crossing into dealership drama territory. And when it comes to maintenance, you're looking at a total of $4,200 over 10 years. Compare that to a similarly styled Audi A4 or BMW 3 Series, and you're easily saving 5 or 6 grand just on service costs. Number 10. Toyota GR86. If you've ever dreamt of owning a sports car that actually looks like a sports car, but you've got a realistic budget and even more realistic maintenance anxiety, the Toyota GR86 is your golden ticket. From the outside, it checks every box. Low slung body? Check. Wide stance? Check. A sculpted, aggressive front end that looks like it's just waiting to pounce? Absolutely. It's one of those cars that makes people turn their heads and squint at the badge, trying to figure out if you're driving something exotic. And the best part? It starts at just around $32,000. However, it's not just the price tag that makes this car so appealing. It's how easy it is to live with. Maintenance over 10 years comes in at about $4,800, which is a steal considering how many heads you'll turn at every gas station and parking lot. It looks like it should be parked next to a Porsche Cayman, but it behaves like a Corolla when it's time to service it. Number 9. Toyota Prius Prime. When you think luxury, the Toyota Prius Prime might not be the first car that comes to mind, but it should be. With its futuristic design, sculpted LED headlights, and streamlined silhouette, the Prius Prime looks like something that should be parked next to a Tesla, and it pulls off that modern tech-savvy vibe for just around $34,000. But here's where it gets wild. Owning this thing is absurdly cheap. Over 10 years, it costs about $4,100 in maintenance, and that's not even factoring in the money you'll save on gas. With plug-in capability and Toyota reliability, it's one of those vehicles that makes sense in every possible way, yet still manages to stand out. And while other plug-in hybrids like the Audi A3 e-tron cost more upfront and more to maintain, the Prius Prime keeps things efficient, futuristic, and financially painless. Number 8. Toyota Avalon. If the Camry's all grown up, the Toyota Avalon is its more sophisticated older sibling that shops at nicer places and knows which wine to order. It has that long sweeping body, a big comfortable cabin, and a look that wouldn't feel out of place next to a Buick or Lincoln. Brand new, it crept just past $40K, but well-kept used models and final year trims land nicely around $38 grand. Where the Avalon really wins is in how it carries itself. It's elegant but never flashy, premium without being pretentious, and with only $4,400 in estimated maintenance over 10 years, it's basically giving you Lexus-Lite luxury with none of the long-term baggage. If you want something that looks like you've made it without the bills that suggest you're faking it, the Avalon is the move. Number 7. Toyota Supra, used. Now we're dipping into used territory, but stay with me because the Toyota Supra is the very kind of car that turns heads everywhere it goes. That low, wide stance, sculpted curves, and double bubble roof scream exotic, even though you can snag earlier model years for around $38 to $39.5 grand. People assume it's a $70K car, probably because the design is that bold. But despite the BMW-based engine and sports car attitude, it's surprisingly well behaved when it comes to upkeep. Over 10 years, you're looking at just under $5 grand in maintenance. That's practically nothing for a car that looks like it should be parked next to a Porsche. If you want exotic looks without the exotic breakdowns, the Supra nails it. Number 6. Lexus NX 300. The Lexus NX 300 may be a compact SUV, but its bold spindle grille, dramatic lighting, and angular body lines give it the presence of something much bigger and much pricier. Sitting right around 40 grand, it's one of the best value cars under the 50K range. And like most Lexus vehicles, it's the long game that really makes the NX shine. Over a 10-year span, you're looking at about $3,200 in maintenance. That's almost laughably low for a vehicle that looks this polished. It's one of those SUVs that gives off tech mogul dropping their kid off at school energy. Except you don't need a startup or stock options to own one. Number 5. Lexus RX 350, used. Here's where things really get interesting. The Lexus RX 350 isn't just one of the best-selling luxury SUVs in the US. It's one of the best looking. The big, bold grille, the floating roof design, the sculpted side profile. It's instantly recognizable and instantly gives off luxury vibes. And while brand new models nudge just past $50K, clean, gently used examples are easy to find around $38,000 to $39,000. This thing looks like it belongs in a gated community, and yet owning it is shockingly affordable. We're talking about $5,500 in maintenance over 10 years, which is insanely low for an SUV of this class. To put that in perspective, a similarly sized BMW X5 could rack up double or triple that. Inside, the RX feels high-end with soft-touch everything, real wood trim and a serene ride. But underneath, it's backed by Toyota's bulletproof engineering. This is the kind of luxury vehicle you can actually afford to keep long-term. Number 4. Lexus IS 350. You want sporty, stylish, just the right amount of flash without going overboard? That's the Lexus IS 350. With its long hood, aggressive grille, low stance, and sculpted bodywork, this car turns heads everywhere it goes. And at right around $41,000 depending on your trim and timing. The IS 350 gives you the look, that lean, performance sedan attitude that usually costs way more when it comes from Germany. But under the hood, it's Toyota engineered and built to last. 10 years of ownership, just around $5,400 in maintenance, which is stunning for something that feels and drives this upscale. Think of it as a BMW 3 Series for grown-ups. You still get the sportiness, the sharp lines, the confident presence, but without the high-maintenance baggage, it's the luxury sport sedan that plays the long game. Number 3. Lexus ES 350. The Lexus ES 350 looks like it belongs in a valet lot, with its big grille, chrome accents, and refined bodywork. This is the kind of car executives drive. And yet, you can get into a brand new base model for around $43 grand, especially with dealer incentives or end-of-year sales. And here's the kicker. It might be the most stress-free luxury car to own in America. Maintenance over a decade hovers around $4,600, which is absurdly low for a car in this class. Compare that to a Mercedes E-Class, which is easily $12K plus in long-term upkeep, and the ES350 comes off as a luxury cheat code. It's smooth, it's quiet, it looks expensive inside and out, and it won't nickel and dime you with weird repair bills. This one proves you don't need a German badge to feel like you've arrived. Number 2. Infiniti Q50. Now this one's a bit more of a bold statement. The Infiniti Q50 looks sharp, aggressive, and way more expensive than it actually is. With a starting price of about $43 grand, it's a bit expensive, but it earns its spot with those sleek body lines, premium curves, and the kind of styling that could easily be mistaken for a $60,000 German luxury sedan. Here's the twist. The Q50 isn't just about looks. It's powered by a twin-turbo V6, and yet it manages to keep maintenance costs surprisingly tame. You're looking at around $6,400 over 10 years, which is a massive win considering how much performance and style you're getting. While European rivals might leave you nervously checking your bank account every time the check engine light comes on, the Q50 keeps things respectable and manageable. It looks expensive, drives like a beast, and treats your budget kindly. Number 1. Tesla Model 3. And finally, number 1, the car that turns the most heads, gives off the most tech-forward luxury-first energy, and still manages to cost less to own than just about anything on this list. The Tesla Model 3. At $43,000, it's one of the best value for money cars in the world. And from a visual and technological standpoint, it's in another league. Clean lines, flush door handles, panoramic glass roof, minimalist interior. It looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. And unlike most electric cars in this price range, the Model 3 carries the kind of prestige that gets valet parked without question. But the best part? Over 10 years, Tesla ownership averages just $3,200 in maintenance. No oil changes, no spark plugs, far fewer moving parts to worry about. Even brake wear is minimal, thanks to regenerative braking. This thing costs less to maintain than a Corolla, and yet it looks like it costs twice as much. If you want the ultimate modern flex without paying modern luxury prices to keep it on the road, the Model 3 is the clear winner. Which of these cars made your shopping list? Let me know in the comments.